Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Stephanie D. Barnes. We're going to begin our broadcast soon of this awesome episode of Conversations from the C-Suite, the Girlfriend's Guide to Being a CEO. You know how we start this out. For those of you, if this is your first time, let me tell you how we get started. We believe in the power of three. I encourage you to invite at least three people to the broadcast and share it out to at least three groups because this is a conversation and I don't want to be talking to myself. So if you just take a few moments and invoke the power of three, invite at least three people to the conversation, share it out to at least three groups, we're going to get started and have an awesome conversation in the C-suite. So I'm going to do what I asked of you. See that rhyme? I'm a bit of a poet, but you do know it. I am a poet. But anyway, I do ask that you invoke the power of three. So I'm going to do that myself. And then we are going to bring our awesome guest to the virtual stage. So let us invoke the power of three and get some folks on this conversation with us. All right, here we go. I'm going to just share a few more, share it out a little to a couple of more people, and then we are going to get started because we're going to have a great conversation tonight. All right, so without any further ado, let's get this party started because this is a conversation with a purpose. And again, I just want to welcome all of you. I am Dr. Stephanie D. Barnes, CEO of C-Suite Women's Network, where I help women and a few good men to be the CEOs of their lives so they can be better CEOs of their businesses. And I want to welcome you to Conversations from the C-Suite, the girlfriend's guide to being a CEO. So, of course, I am your host, and it is my pleasure to spark this conversation because there is power when women gather. Every woman needs to have a seat at the table. Every woman needs to be the CEO of her life because when she's the CEO of her life, she does not only creates a seat at the table for herself, but she can create a seat at the table for others. Because this is all about conversation for the purpose of elevation. Now, the C-suite, what's the deal with the C-suite? Well, you know, in any company, the C-suite is where all of the decisions are made. And each of you has a C-suite in your life where you are making the decisions to create the life you desire and deserve. And we want you to be the true CEO when you get to that C-suite. What does that mean? The chief executive officer, as the word suggests, it means you are executing, you are getting things done. The CEO is the one who is responsible for deciding upon the direction, coming up with the plan, deciding the strategy, inspiring a team to bring the strategy to fruition. So CEOs don't do it by themselves. They have great teams, which is why this is a conversation. It's not just me talking. Well, it is just me talking right now, but there will be another on the stage in a few moments. So, you know, where are you in your journey to the C-suite? You are typically in one of three places. You may be a CEO on the rise. You are aspiring to be the CEO of your life. You kind of know what you want to do. You're ready to get started, but you have not quite gotten there yet. You are aspiring to be the CEO of your life. Then you may be a CEO on the move. All right, you've got some traction, you've got some momentum, but you're ready to take it even further. And then finally, you may actually be the CEO. But here's the thing. CEOs are always in a position to go to the next level, because when you become a CEO, it's not that everything stops and you're through growing. That's when the learning, the improvements just begin. So regardless of where you are, whether you are a CEO in a company or you are reporting to a CEO, you are always the CEO of your life. So again, welcome to Conversations from the C-Suite. Here in the C-Suite, we have powerful conversations. We want you to learn something, feel something, but most of all, we want you to do something, because it's all about making the CEO moves. How do you make a CEO move? You create circles of influence, you educate and empower yourself, and you operationalize what you learn so that you can optimize your outcome. It's all about the CEO moves that you make. So, are you ready? Are you ready to begin your conversation in the C-Suite? Well, I tell you, I am ready. I'm excited about bringing to the virtual stage one of my dear friends. We have known each other now a little bit, I guess, almost 2 years now. We have traveled across the world together. Not quite. We went across the pond. We went to London together. We performed internationally together. And I tell you, she is a powerhouse, and I'm excited about bringing her to the stage. We're going to be talking about cryptocurrencies, tales from the crypt. So we are excited to discuss this relatively new. It's not new in the whole scheme of things, but for some of you, it may be new, but we want to make sure that we are aware of the ways that we can continue to grow our wealth, because this is a continuation of the series on finances. And so no conversation about finances would be complete without introducing or discussing the concept of cryptocurrency. So we brought an expert for you. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my dear CEO friend, Rhonda Y. Williams. Not just Rhonda Williams, Rhonda Y. Williams. She is a dynamic healthcare leader, author, publisher, speaker, trainer, and coach. She has nearly 2 decades of leadership experience, and she is an expert in emotional intelligence. And I'm going to bring her back later on for another episode to talk about EQ, getting your EQ together. But tonight, she is here to talk about cryptocurrency, because she's not just the CEO. She has her background experience as a nurse. She was a real CEO of a real company, and now she's a real CEO of her own business, and she is the CEO of her life. And she is also known as the Dream Life Coach. So without any further ado, I want to bring to the stage the CEO of the hour, Rhonda Y. Williams. Rhonda, hey girl, how you doing?
Hey Steph, how you doing?
Oh, it is awesome. It is awesome to be with you again. I tell you, it's just so cool how we have evolved since the first time we met. Both of us met when we were just beginning our platforms.
Yes.
That we've been working on now, I guess almost 2 years. So it's just so great to see you again.
Oh, you too. Always. And it is so, I am so excited to be here in the C-Suite, of course, talking to CEOs about what it means to be a CEO in your life and your business. So thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Well, you know, I always love to ask my guests the powerful questions. You know, tell us the who, the what, and the why. I've said a little bit about who you are and what you do, but I want to hear it in your words. Who you are, what you do, and most importantly, why you make the CEO moves that you do.
Sure. So again, my name is Rhonda Y. Williams. I'm known as the Dream Life Coach today, but that wasn't always the case. Back in the day, you know, way back beyond in those old years, you know, those old times, I was a registered nurse I am a nurse by background, and my background is in healthcare, and so I spent many years in healthcare, you know, working the floor as a staff nurse, and then sort of climbing that ladder, climbed into a chief nursing officer, climbed myself into the hospital CEO role after some time, and I thought, why did I climb into this chair? any fun. It was all way too much craziness and drama and all kinds of stuff. I said, I got to get up out of here. So I decided that I had enough of that world, and really at that point started sort of recreating myself and doing my own thing, doing some coaching and consulting and, doing some traveling, working with healthcare organizations. And I still do quite a bit of that today. I travel, I work with healthcare organizations, I coach them on caring communication, in addition to my coaching individuals and organizations around building emotional intelligence, as you mentioned earlier. And I know I'm going to come back later and we'll talk some more about that. And it's going to enter into the conversation today, just because when we talk about what is this thing. But anyway, that's a little bit about who I am. So what I do today is I work with individuals and leaders and organizations to really help them become more emotionally intelligent, because we know that the keys to your success do not lie in your IQ, but instead lie in your EQ. And so in order to elevate that success, in order to, sort of position yourself as a leader, respected leader, inspirational leader, trusted leader within your organization and within your life, as all of us here on the C-suite know, we want to be those that leader in our own life. Your emotional intelligence is critical. And so that's what I do today. I really help people flip their problems and find the opportunities to grow and shine and emerge out of those. So that's a little bit about who I am. And what I do, help people to stop spinning and start soaring.
All right. Well, awesome. So why do you make the CEO moves that you make?
I make the CEO moves I make because I can.
That's right. That is a great reason.
Because I can. And why not, right? Because if we can, we should. And so there's nothing stopping us but ourselves. The only person holding us back is the person in the mirror. And I refuse for that person to be holding me back. So I want to make CEO moves in my own life. And I want to help other people make CEO moves in theirs.
Right. And one of the things that I hope that you've heard as Rhonda has shared with who she is and what she does is she has not been afraid to make changes and to try new things and to take risks. And that's one of the hallmarks of being the CEO of your life. And her answer as to why she makes CEO moves, because she can, is perfect. And each of us can. And that's something that we truly want to embrace is, we don't need permission. Right. You do not need permission from anyone else to be the CEO of your life, to really make those decisions, to have the life you desire and deserve. So we have a real CEO in the house who has truly been a great example of taking risks, doing new things, and helping others on their way to their personal C-suites. So tonight, though, we're going to talk about cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I met Rhonda, let's see, this was May of 2017, or was it April? April of 2017. We were in a mastermind together. I guess you could call it a mastermind. Mm-hmm. We went to travel to Maryland to do a brand makeover and launching our respective brands, respective businesses. I remember Rhonda, some kind of way during one day break, she brought up this thing about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. I'm like, Bitcoin? And I'm thinking about this. At this point, I knew nothing about it. And she sent me this website and she talked about it. I'm like, I don't know about all this. I said, I'm going to check it out. It can't hurt. And I tell you, it took me a while. It took me about a month later, and it cost me about 10 grand because had I listened to her and went ahead and invested when she told me about it, I'd have been at least $10,000 with you. But I waited, but I did get in it. But I wanted to bring her on tonight because, as I mentioned, we are continuing a series on finances because you can't make CEO moves unless you're making money moves, okay? And, there are different ways to create wealth. And as we are in the digital age, we are there's technology out there that actually helps us to build wealth. And so for many of us still, we're unfamiliar with this whole concept of cryptocurrency. And so Rhonda is an expert in this area. She's a personal investor herself. She introduced me to it. And I just thought it would be great for her to share with you about what this is and just different ways that as the CEOs of our lives, for our businesses, for our personal wealth building, that we can learn about how to incorporate cryptocurrency into our wealth strategies. So, get your favorite beverage. I got water tonight. I didn't get any wine. I'm we're talking about money. So anyway, I hope that you join the conversation. But Rhonda, why don't you share? Like if there's someone who's listening for the first time, they have no idea what cryptocurrency is, and they're treated like tales from the crypts. What are we talking about? The blood in the crypts? What's going on? But if you would just give us a cryptocurrency 101 to help us understand what this tool is and how we can use it.
Sure. So, when I think about cryptocurrency, I think about, so many times we will make statements about playing with house money and those sorts of things. So, at that point, it's not real. Well, cryptocurrency is a type of digital currency. So it's not something that you can pick up and put in your pocket, right? You're not going to pull a crypto coin out of your pocket. Well, you might, because, today they've got everything. So they got little crypto coins and all those sorts of things that symbolizes cryptocurrency because some people just feel the need to have something. But basically, it is really a form of digital currency. And it's there's several different forms, right? So there are multiple types of cryptocurrencies. And I think that's one of the things about this emerging field. This field is emerging and it's wide open right now. So there is not one type of cryptocurrency. Most of us are familiar with Bitcoin, which is sort of, lack of a better term, the big daddy on the block is what Bitcoin is. But there are hundreds and hundreds of cryptocurrencies out there. There's also crypto tokens that are not actually sort of currency, but there are other forms of digital tokens and utilities that you can use. So cryptocurrency is nothing more than digital money.
Okay. All right. So how do you use this digital money? Because I tell you, when Rhonda first started talking about, like I said, it's about a year ago, and she brought this whole concept of digital money. I'm like, okay, I need to see my coins. How does this work? How does one spend a digital currency? Whether it is Bitcoin, there's like she said, there are hundreds. Ethereum is one. Coinlite
is one. Litecoin.
See, I had it backwards. Sorry, I got some dyslexia. Y'all roll with me. But there are lots of different names out there. But we're just going to refer to them just generally as cryptocurrency. But like, how do you spend it? How do you get this? How do you pull money out the internet?
So that's a great question. So when you're thinking about a digital currency, the first thing you want to do is you want to think about a digital wallet, right? So you need some place to store and to hold your digital money. You can't put it in your pocket, so you got to put it somewhere. So there are these secure sites online called digital wallets. So you basically want to buy your cryptocurrency. You can store those in your digital wallet. And then currently, we've got a couple of different systems. We've got our traditional banking system, right, with the ATMs and your Bank of Americas. And so you've got your traditional banking systems. And then you've got crypto and digital banking systems. Currently, today, they don't talk to each other as smoothly as they should, but that is a work in progress. So what you can do is there are bridges. There are third-party applications and even some of the crypto apps themselves that are trying to bridge the divide between the regular banking system and your digital banking system. So for instance, there are websites online where you can shop and spend some of your digital currency. There are some of the bigger websites that are really looking into accepting them. Some have gone back. They've gone back and forth. But the bottom line is you can withdraw these. I don't know if you know about this stuff, but there are digital the cryptocurrency ATM machines.
Yes, because I was going to mention that the gas station that's literally at the top of the hill around the corner from my house, it has a I think they call it a bit. I think it's a Bitcoin ATM or something, but it's
Yeah.
an ATM for digital currency. And I'm like, oh wow! So this is you're beginning to see it more and more mainstream, because I
Right.
know that even a year ago, you really only kind of heard about it, but now as it is growing and more people are becoming aware of it, more people are exchanging it,
Yeah.
you're beginning to see it kind of, I'd say, transcend the kind of things that we're more familiar with. We're familiar with an ATM. We may not
Right.
be as familiar with a digital wallet.
Right, right. And there is, some of the digital sort of, for lack of a better term, creators have created applications where you can load up multiple different digital cryptocurrencies, and you could go into a coffee shop and say, here, pay with my digital currency. But some of this is still in progress as we get it to become more mainstream. Right now, many people are purchasing cryptocurrencies as a form of investment, and they're holding on to those cryptocurrencies as a, sort of a store of value, just like you would buy some gold and hold on to it, right? They're holding on to cryptocurrencies. And the market is in flux a little bit right now because they're still trying to get their sea legs right. They're trying to figure out, okay, are we going to be sort of a store of value that people are going to buy us and hold on to us for years and years and years? Or are we going to be very transactional? There are currencies out there that are sort of modeled themselves to be rapid transaction with very low fees types of thing. And I think we'll continue to see this market emerge. But one of the things I wanted to touch on quickly, where this plays so closely with my passion for emotional intelligence. Because when this new thing is out there, right? So I was talking to my dad, and my dad, I said, so Dad, are you going to get you some Bitcoin? My dad said, some bit who? Some what? He said, so what is that? And I said, well, the new digital currency. He's like, digital currency? Can I touch it? Can I feel it? Oh, baby, I don't know about that. I don't think I can do that. You let me know when they get something I can put in my wallet, right? And so for many of us, we have lived in the mainstream with a dollar bill and a credit card for so long that the idea of digital currency is very scary. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't sound real. And so we hold off and we sit back and we want to wait. But let me just ask all the viewers this question. If you knew back then what you know now about Google and Apple, would you be sitting back, or would you be going, no, I want to purchase some of that right now, right? And then you can just hold on to it. I think that's where we are in a digital space. And because it's very rocky right now, people are fearful of it. But you know what? I mean, you can develop a plan for yourself that doesn't have to be too intense, right? It doesn't have to be too scary. Just get in a little bit at a time. And then until you get yourself familiar with it, and use that to break the cycle of that EQ that can sort of stick you in the traditional old days.
Right. Because I know, like, the hesitancy that I had when Rhonda brought that up to me years a year ago was kind of this whole, it was an EQ issue in that, I couldn't see it, I couldn't feel it. I'm like, how you make money on the internet? Was somebody just go in there, make it, come up with a web page, and now all of a sudden they got some digital currency? I didn't really understand it. And it's all about, being willing to be informed, which is why, it's important to have these types of conversations, because you don't know what you don't know. Exactly. And until you ask the question, you won't know. So I'm gonna ask a lot of questions. I'm gonna put myself in the seat of someone out there who may have some questions, because I know one of the things that, initially, because I'm just an investor, I don't really use it to trade. I mean, to buy things with. I'm holding on to it as an investment. But like, for example, and I should have looked this up right before the show started to see like what one Bitcoin went for if you went to try and buy it today. I think the last time I looked, it was like $6,000 and some change.
Yep.
Somewhere around.
It's about 6,200.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just say if I wanted to buy a Bitcoin today, it would cost me, say, $6,200.
Right.
Now, am I going to go into a coffee shop if I want to use the Bitcoin? Is it not going to cost me $6,200 to buy a cup of coffee if I want to use my Bitcoins? I mean, how does that work? You know,
Yeah.
now I invest in some coffee. I like me some good Starbucks every once in a while. You know, I'm a coffee snob. I pay a lot of money, but I ain't finna pay $6,200 for no coffee. But seriously, how does that work?
Yeah. Well, one of the things about a Bitcoin is a pretty incredible in that a whole Bitcoin is $6,200. However, a Bitcoin can be divided up into a million bits. So you can buy it in increments that small. So you can buy, especially for the hesitant investor and for those really just trying to get acclimated to this whole crypto world, you can buy little itty bitty pieces of it, which is, I think, pretty cool that you can, buy these small pieces and you don't have to, you can decide that, okay, every paycheck, I'm going to invest $25 and buy $25 worth of Bitcoin. That won't hurt too much, right? That's like a pizza party at my house every other day or whatever. So, you can buy something like that and you can save it up and invest. So a Bitcoin can be broken down into very, very small increments that are purchasable. So you can purchase those small increments. Likewise, when you are ready to spend, you can spend those small increments also.
Okay, so I don't have to go out and buy no $6,200 cup of
No,
coffee.
no. And I wouldn't recommend that.
Okay. Yeah, and like you say, it's all about learning things, and just like with any other stock. I mean, I think about the story of Jeff Bezos' parents who helped him to start Amazon. Is it
Mhm.
Bezos or Bezos? I always think about this.
Basically.
Bezos. I knew as soon as I said it, I'm like, I ain't saying it right. But anyway, y'all knew what I was talking about. Jeff Bezos. Now I got to concentrate so I say correctly. Jeff Bezos. Uh, they were just talking about his parents. I think they gave him, I can't remember what it was, maybe $2,000 or something like that. They gave him a relatively small amount of money to start to help him start up Amazon.
Right.
And now that the value of what they gave their son, just, hey, we're gonna help you out with your little business you trying to do. I think now
Exactly.
they're like multi-mil. That the stock that they purchased or invested in is worth is multi-million-dollar investment. And so it's kind of like thinking about this. It's all about getting started. You don't
Yep.
go. I don't think anyone, even though it is acknowledged that this is a form of currency that is going to be around in some form. It's
Correct.
volatile right now. That it's growing at different kinds, but digital currency is here and it's not going to go away.
Yep.
So, but
Exactly.
I don't think anyone is recommending, hey, you go put your whole life savings into it. But it's all about, diversifying your portfolio, which is why, I wanted to just introduce this concept of cryptocurrency because, if we're going to build wealth, we have to diversify our income streams. We talked about, I think, three or four episodes ago when we had Umama Marzouk on, we talked about the different streams of income. I think it was 8 streams of income that is recommended that you build up to. And one of those is investments in things like, stock
Yep.
and digital currency if you want to just hold on to it and let the value build. But it's all about learning what's out there so that you're not essentially married to this strategy of putting your cash in a mattress.
Right. Exactly.
And then on the other hand, what you don't want to do is to make decisions where basically you just spending your money on buying lottery tickets. I mean, that's a form of investment, but that's not the best strategy to go. But we wanted to make sure that you knew about it. So I just wanted to take a moment to bring you our note from our sponsor, C-Suite Women's Network. This episode is brought to you by C-Suite Women's Network, where you can go for your professional and personal leadership development, strategic planning, and organization performance excellence needs. The mission at C-Suite Women's Network. I can't talk tonight. I'm all excited about this topic. But the mission of C-Suite Women's Network is to equip women to be the CEOs of their lives, to use their education, experiences, and influence to create the life they desire and deserve. So to be the CEO of your life, You can be a better CEO of your business. You can get equipped to get the results that you desire. You can go to www.discovertheceo.in to schedule your strategy session today. So thanks a lot, C-Suite Women's Network, for bringing this episode tonight. So what I wanted to segue into is, if someone wants to get started into this, because we've just kind of talked about a couple, but how do you find digital currency? Do you just type in cryptocurrency? Do you just type in digital currency? How do you figure out what forms of cryptocurrencies there are out there that you might want to invest in?
Sure. Well, that's a really great question. And there is a resource out there that I would definitely recommend and everyone go to as a starting point. And it is called, let me just give you the exact, it is called coinmarketcap.com.
I need to learn how to spell coin.
Market cap, cap.com.
Okay, so I'm going to put that up so you can see it, coinmarketcap.com. That is a resource.
Yes, and this is a wealth of information. It has all of the top 100 cryptocurrencies listed. It has their performance, shows you the graphs of their performance, how much they've changed in the past 24 hours. But I think even more importantly, for folks looking to get started, when you click on one of these, let's say you pull it up and you click on Bitcoin, then there's a wealth of information there. It gives you the historical data. You can pull up the historical trading data for Bitcoin. You can click to a website that gives you more information. There are chat rooms where people are talking about the different cryptocurrencies. And so this I think, is a really great place to start. I check it frequently just to see sort of what the current rates are of sort of the top 10 coins. The coins tend to sometimes do some jockeying back and forth. So in that top 10, top 20, they'll trade back and forth in terms of positions. So I'll go there to watch all of that information happening. It tells you how much volume is being traded. So it is a ton of great information. And if you're just looking to say, gosh, well, maybe I want to get invested in a cryptocurrency, let me go check out one of these. You can definitely go to CoinMarketCap and you can just scroll through, take a look, click on one of them, and then explore a little bit deeper and a little bit further.
Okay, so that's really great. A great way to begin this search and to know kind of I'd say legitimate sites that are out there. How do we avoid buying Pookie digital currency that they have made up and put out there on the internet? How do we assure that what we're actually buying is a true digital currency? If it's not on here, is it is this kind of if it's not here, it's not real type of resource? Or, what are the ways that we can protect ourselves so that we're just not going out there participating in somebody's scam?
Sure. That's a really great question. And cryptocurrency is pretty much like every other investment. You want to be an educated investor. And so that means you're going to have to do your homework. Because the field is so new, unfortunately, there are risks out there. There are companies out there that are developing coins for no other reason than to take your money. That's just, that just is what it is. And so I am cautious about investing in what we call ICOs, which is startup coins when they're just getting started. It's called initial coin offering. I'm cautious about those, although there are some times when you see an IO and you think to your ICO and you think to yourself, oh my gosh, this could change the world, right? This sounds revolutionary. But again, you're going to do your homework. So you're going to go into the coin. You're going to look at the roadmap. You're going to try to identify who the team is, because most of them have white papers and roadmaps that talks about their strategy over the next 1 to 3 years. And that usually is pretty helpful. Look at the team. Are they credible folks? And Do they have folks on their field, on their team that have been involved in other cryptocurrencies or in the digital space? Or is this just a bunch of folks that, yesterday they were all working at Sam's Club and today now they're forming a cryptocurrency, right? So those are the kinds of things, looking for that social proof and that credibility proof. Also, oh my gosh, YouTube is a fantastic place to go. If there's a coin that you think might look good, I would definitely go type it into YouTube and see what folks are saying about it. You'll get a balance. Sometimes you'll get folks agreeing or disagreeing, but the whole idea is to give you a wealth of information so that then you can make an informed decision about whether or not, and if they're not in that first, 10, 20 range on coin market cap, you're increasing your risk potential a little bit. Not tremendously, because there are a lot of coins out there and some of them are just slow starters, some of them are getting going nicely, but you want to be aware of that. So do your homework, do your research, find something you can believe in. For instance, I'll give you an example. I invested in this one coin that had this big, huge vision of bridging that divide, like I talked about earlier, between the traditional market and the crypto market. Right. And I thought to myself, gosh, if a couple of coins could do this really well and really effectively, it would be tremendous, because what it would take from sort of a multi-part transaction down to a single 1 or 2 part transaction, right? Instead of using your credit card, then you got to buy digital currency, and then you've got to put it in a wallet, and then you've got to, hold on to that. You've got to make sure you have a third-party app that you can sell it at this other location. What if we can make it more direct from one place to another? And so, I invested in this coin and I'm just sitting on it for dear life. They send us updates regularly and that sort of thing. And it's been kind of fun to be a part of it. I believe in it. And so, I didn't invest a ton in it. And if it does well, I'll probably make a good amount. And if it doesn't do too well, I didn't lose a ton. So there you go,
So it's all about, and the whole point of this is, again, having a conversation, because what I'm hoping is that someone who watches, someone who's listening will say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go to coinmarketcap.com and I'm just going to see what's out there, and begin to have the conversation, because, it's important, again, as the CEO of your life, but also, because we talked about early on, I think, it's about having a seat at the table, but not just having a seat at the table for you, but giving a seat at the table for others. And so, we invoke the power of 3 in inviting people to actually come on here. But one of the things that I challenge is you to begin to have more conversations about cryptocurrency, because you have a lot of high-profile investors who believe in this type of wealth building. And so these are not people. Yes.
Your audio sort of, it went low for a minute, or
okay, it went low.
Okay, there we go.
So am I back?
You're back.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for letting me know. Because of course, to me, it sounds like I'm talking loud. Anyway, but this is, I want us to all have the conversations, because, it's all about building wealth, not only to just do the things you want to do in everyday life, but building a legacy for your family, building a legacy for your community, and building a legacy as a CEO. So, one of the things that you talked about that I'm just very intrigued about is this whole concept of an ICO. Now, of course, before, I had never really thought of an ICO. But of course, what an IPO is, initial public offering, when a company goes public and begins to offer its stock to the public for the first time, or the opportunity to invest. But I never really had thought about the concept of an ICO, an initial coin offering.
Right.
Let's say I am an aspiring CEO and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have me a SGB coin. How would I go about it? How does one start? How do ICOs start? And how does someone just begin to offer digital currency? They go and write a program, and now poof, all of this digital currency is available. How does this happen? How does it begin?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And what happens with digital currency is someone has a vision, right? I want a coin that can do X, Y, and Z. And so they start with their coin based on what we have available today. the idea is always to improve, right? I can improve on Bitcoin by making transactions faster. I can improve on, Litecoin by changing the infrastructure underneath, or whatever their vision is for these different coins. So you want to first start with a vision of what you want your coins to do, and sort of where you want to see them go and how you see them changing and improving the marketplace and improving lives of everyday folks like us. And then you've got to hire a team. You need a team of developers that are going to actually write the algorithms and the programming for your coin. You've got a lot of decisions to make. You've got to decide, are you going to base it on an existing platform? Like, are you going to use sort of a Bitcoin sort of structure, or are you going to use a platform like Ethereum that uses something called smart contracts? And you can actually build onto the Ethereum network and build your own coin off of their infrastructure. There are several other coins out there that you can build on their infrastructure as well. There are some organizations out there that are starting their own blockchain because they want specific and uniqueness associated with their coin. And so you've got to hire a team of crack programmers that are going to help program your coin. You got to determine your platform. You've got to determine your roadmap. You've got to put an amazing team together that's going to be able to cover all of the financial aspects of it. And the financial regulations are getting more and more intense in various countries. Some countries are very crypto friendly. Some countries are not so much, because they don't quite believe in it yet. And so there is a wide array out there of how people feel about cryptocurrencies. And so you want to be aware of all of that as you decide that you're going to start the SDB coin.
Because one of the things that I was thinking about is you were talking about, the initial coin offering and kind of how this gets started. What is the difference between an ICO and crowdfunding? If somebody, because I know we've heard the term crowdfunding. I'm not talking about GoFundMe, but like crowdfunding. What is it a form of crowdfunding, or is it more like the traditional IPO that we're familiar with?
In effect, it really is a form of crowdfunding. And that's what the regulatory bodies right now are looking at, because they're saying, okay, so ICOs, you guys are raising a ton of money. You're basically saying to the public, here's my plan, please trust me, right? Please trust me that I'm going to deliver on this plan as I say I will. And the consumer really often has no recourse or anything, which is one of the reasons why I hear a little static. I'm not sure what that is, which is really one of the reasons why they have started to tighten up a little bit on ICOs. When cryptocurrencies first started, everyone and their mother was launching an ICO, and they were making a ton of money. Because think about it. Yeah. Think about purchasing stocks and what that takes for the average investor like you and I, right? If we want to buy a stock, we've got to go through a broker, and we've got to try to be informed. We've got to set up accounts. Well, crypto became the Wild Wild West, right? So you could just go out there and, here's a new ICO, just put in your credit card information and hope for the best. And so now the regulatory bodies are saying, maybe not so much. This is probably not good because it's too risky for consumers. So they're starting to put some structure around that in order to help protect us, while at the same time trying not to stifle creativity. Because guess what? We are living in the digital age, and you know how fast technology moves. Do you know, Stephanie, there are entire countries that use nothing but digital currency?
Wow, really?
Some of the underserved countries, because here's what happened. You got your traditional banking systems who said, it's not really profitable for us to come into your country because you all don't really have much money. And it takes us money to run this operation. And so there were countries that were really underserved by the banking population. So these digital currencies came and began to fill that void. So they're relatively new for us. But, in some countries, they've been doing this for quite a while. So it's really interesting to see how it's sort of, really getting into the fabric and the culture of who we are.
Do you think that digital currency, I was going to make a whole word, digital cryptacy, is what I was about to, that's not a real word. Digital currency will ever replace the traditional currencies that we are familiar with?
Not if the traditional banking systems have anything to say about it. Because let me tell you, they are fighting like cats and dogs right now, trying to hold on to their space. I mean, think about how powerful this is.
Yeah.
Banking systems operate in a centralized way, which means you have a governing body for that banking system that's controlling everything.
Yeah.
Cryptocurrencies is actually really designed to be the opposite. It's designed to be decentralized, where there is no one person or no one group controlling it. We haven't talked about it yet, but in terms of the blockchain, right, and what the blockchain actually is. So the blockchain is the platform that makes digital currencies possible.
Okay.
It's the technology that allows these cryptocurrencies and these digital currencies to be safe and to allow them to have all of these microtransactions without you going in. You can't go in and you can't alter it. You can't change it. So here's a way to think about the blockchain. When I think about it, let's say I wanted to give you, let's say I made a copy of this really valuable certificate I have, and I need you to keep it safe from me. Matter of fact, I just need it safe. So I'm going to make 2 million copies of it. And I'm going to give a copy to all these different people. You have no idea who the people are. So in order for you to steal it or change it or become fraudulent, you have to get all 2 million copies. Well, you have no idea who the folks are. Yeah. So that's the concept behind the blockchain. In essence, someone writes a record by conducting a transaction. That transaction goes out to 1 million computers all around the world. And so they themselves, they all go in, they verify the transaction. They say, yep, got it. And once it's verified by so many, then it locks and it creates, quote, a new block on the blockchain that's not alterable. If anyone went in and tried to change it, let's say, even if I broke into your house and stole my certificate, right? I don't have all the other certificates, so it's still no good. So that is the concept of what the blockchain is founded on, which is why they say, gosh, it's not only about, I want you to think about this with me for a second, because I was pretty fascinated by the blockchain. Not only is it valuable for cryptocurrencies, they are saying any record of value, they are now trying to develop blockchain technologies for. Think about a record of value, your home purchase, your medical records, all of these things. They are developing applications because you can secure them on the blockchain where you can have them be publicly available, but yet you can't alter them.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because, I'm glad you explained the blockchain, because that was going to be one of my next questions. Is this like Lego blocks? Is this building blocks? What is this blockchain technology? But that is, I think, one of the best and most simplest ways that I've heard it explained that really helped my little brain understand how it works. Yeah. One of the things that, I think some people get fearful about is like, is this creating some type of alter economy? Is this like the Matrix? Is this something that's going to destabilize our economy? And you kind of touched on this in some different points throughout our conversation tonight, but is this something, if everybody goes out and buys digital currency, does it destabilize our economy? Does it make it more stable? What does it do to like the bigger picture of how we conduct business? I guess just on a national platform, and then of course we're in a global economy. But sure. Is this the Matrix? Is this the red pill or the blue? What's going on here?
Well, I think with any technology, right? And this is really what I love about technology. For every instance of a positive that comes with the technology, someone nefarious out there can try to do something underhanded and sneaky with it, right? That's just the world we live in. And so there is that potential. I know a lot of people say, oh, don't use Bitcoin because it's used by, hackers and they steal your money with it and all that. Well, there's a percentage of that, but the grand scheme of things is it's being used for real reasons by real people who are either purchasing and investing or purchasing and using it for transactions. So there is definitely that. However, in terms of the big picture, there is a lot of talk out there about which currencies, Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies can replace because of the utility. Because think about this for a second, Stephanie. When we went to London, remember we had to change our money over, right? And we had to make sure that we were using the currency for the local currency.
Right.
You wouldn't have to do that with cryptocurrency, because that cryptocurrency would be known in whatever location that you were in. You would have no transaction fees. You wouldn't have to translate it. And, there's extra fees every time you So there's a lot of talk about bridging our different countries and bringing us together in terms of how we use money around the cryptocurrencies. And it's still just an infant. It is such a baby today. I can honestly not even imagine for something like this that was able to shoot up and hit $20,000 and then go back down and try to stabilize itself. I mean, it's pretty amazing where this cryptocurrency is, and I can only imagine where it's going to be in 10 or 15 years.
Yes. So, the takeaways here is, first of all, just to make sure that you educate yourself. We've given you a great resource where you can go and learn for yourself. And of course, the lawyer in me wants to say, look at here now. Yeah. We're telling you, we're not giving you no financial advice. We're not telling you to go out here and do anything. We are sharing the information for you to go out and make decisions. We just put that disclaimer out there. But again, what we wanted you to do, or what I really wanted to achieve with this conversation is, again, to get us to thinking about different ways to build our wealth. We've heard that, one, there is such a thing as digital currency. Because for some of us, even though this has been around for how many years would you say this is? I know, like it's been at its height probably in terms of just discussion and becoming more mainstream. I'd say in the last year, but it's not just around in the last year.
Correct. It's been probably really gaining traction since about 2009. Between 2009 and 2012, it really started getting settled. And then in 2012, I think it really kind of started taking off.
Right. So even though it's been around for a relatively short period of time, it's been talked about probably more mainstream. Because again, even a year ago, you didn't see digital currency ATMs. You didn't see, the little signs that says, cryptocurrency accepted here, or different, maybe different forms of cryptocurrency. You just didn't see it in mainstream. And I know, like in the past year, really, it's you're beginning to see more and more of that. It's not more of this foreign concept, but there's still a lot of people who don't understand it. I understand enough about it to be dangerous. And again, Rhonda, I really thank you for the description of the blockchain, because before, you described it in that way. I really was having difficulty with even understanding, how that works. So I thank you for that. But, we want you to be informed and make good decisions so that, one, you can have it as one of the things that you consider for your own personal and a wealth building and personal portfolio. But maybe you're going to have your own ICO one day, because one of the things that I want to encourage you to do with every topic that we talk about, tonight we happen to be talking about cryptocurrency, but to always think big and to think that, what is the difference between, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and Bezos in terms of what they've been able to do. They started small, just like you may be right now. So, if you learn enough about cryptocurrency, maybe you have your own ICO. And instead of buying cryptocurrency from somebody else's portfolio, you're creating wealth yourself, and you are part of the producer. Because one of the ultimate goals with our financial series is helping CEOs, particularly women CEOs, to become producers and not just consumers. Because, you can't make CEO moves if you can't make the money moves. So I do want to just thank you so much, Rhonda, for sharing with us, and just wanted to see if you had any closing remarks, or just kind of anything that we haven't touched upon that you want to share with everybody tonight with respect to what they need to be thinking about with cryptocurrency in particular, or wealth building in particular.
Yeah, I think the one thing I would leave the audience with is to be willing to explore, right? And so I always go back to the EQ and really our emotional intelligence and those fears that we have that tell us either number one, we think we know what we should be doing, and really at the time we really don't know what's out there. We
Mhm.
don't know what we don't know. So be willing to open yourself up. Be willing to be confident that if it doesn't work out, you're still going to be okay. It's not going to be the end of the world, right? So if you know you're going to be okay, it allows you to go out there and test the waters a little bit. No, we don't want you to do anything crazy, but we just want you to stick a toe in here and
And
there.
that's what we told you.
And that goes for cryptocurrencies and other forms of wealth building as well, to build your portfolio, because we know that you're going to need those multiple streams of income and revenue so that you can make those CEO moves in your life. So I encourage you to go learn about cryptocurrency. YouTube has an amazing number of really great educational videos out there that are just designed to help you raise your awareness so that you can get more informed, and then you can go and decide what is for you and what is not for you. The other thing I want to touch on really quickly before we go about cryptocurrencies is you can do more than purchase it. You can trade it. This past year, I got into cryptocurrency trading, which was just crazy, right? So I thought, well, I don't really know how to trade, but what the heck, right? What's the worst that can happen? I lose a few dollars and okay, life will go on tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I have been trading cryptocurrency a little bit, which is kind of cool. You sort of ride the ups and downs and you can make a little money. Let's say you put in $25. If you can trade well enough, you could end up with $50 or $75 just off that 25. So I just want to throw that out there. That is more than just purchasing. There are all different types of ways that you can invest in cryptocurrency. I encourage you to open your hearts and your minds, go explore and be confident that whatever decision you make, your EQ will help you and you will be okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Rhonda. Of course, it's always a pleasure to be around you, to talk to you. Always learn so much, and I'm just grateful that we got a chance to meet each other last April when we were building our brands, building our empires. And I'm glad I listened to you because, like I said, I made me a little piece of change. I could have made a little bit more if I had it acted a little further, but
I'll send you the bill for that later, Stephanie.
yeah, right. Yeah, right. Well, I just want to thank you. So, if people want to ask additional questions of you, or send or get any information from you, or just keep in contact with you, because, like I said, we're going to bring her back on to talk more about this whole concept of your emotional quotient and emotional intelligence, your EQ. We will bring her back. But how can people get in contact with you? How can they find you? Where can they find the Dream Life Coach?
Sure. So I am on Facebook and also on Twitter. You can find me you can reach my Facebook page at Real Dream Life on Facebook. Just type in Real Dream Life and you'll come up with me. And then you can go to at Real Dream Life and connect with me and friend me, and I'd be happy to share additional information. Any information that you want around crypto or emotional intelligence as well, if you're struggling with something in your own life that you're trying to improve, you can definitely reach out to me and I'm happy to help in any of those ways. You can visit my website also at thedreamlifecoach.com. Take a visit over there as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much. As always, it's good to have conversations with you, and I will see you next time. I just want to thank you so much for being a part of Conversations from the C-Suite. So, y'all give her a virtual round of applause and say thank you for.
Thanks for inviting me. It's been a blast. Bye, Steph.
Bye-bye. All right, y'all. So thank you so much for being a part of Conversations from the C-Suite, Girlfriend's Guide to Being a CEO. It is always great to have powerful conversations. And hopefully tonight you have truly learned something, because again, in the C-Suite, we want you to feel something, get inspired, learn something, be educated, but most of all, do something, because whether you report to a CEO or whether you are the CEO of your business, you are always the CEO of your life. And so we want you to focus on strategies that will help you to capitalize on your most powerful asset, which is the power of choice. So remember, the power is not in the conversation, but the strategy that you develop from the conversation. So make sure that you truly make those CEO moves. We want you to create your circle of influence, educate yourself so that you can elevate yourself, and operationalize what you learn so that you can optimize your outcomes. So until next time, thank you so much. I am Dr. Stephanie D. Barnes, CEO of C-Suite Women's Network, where I help women and a few good men to be the CEOs of their lives. And I thank you for joining me in the C-Suite to have these powerful conversations tonight. So remember, power is not in the conversation, but in your CEO moves. So don't just talk about it, baby, be about it. But don't wait. Remember, wait broke the scale. Now is the best time to do what you know needs to be done. And as I always like to remind you, your life is the product of your choices. Choose to be the CEO of your life. Until next time, I am Dr. Stephanie D. Barnes signing out of the C-Suite. Thank you so much for joining the conversation.